Chapter 9. Confusing Attraction. Wes. Everything I've worked for is tethering on the edge of an abyss. And it's all because of her. I glare across the store to where Lydia is hanging jerseys. I can't believe my future is in the hands of a party princess who's probably never worked a day in her life. It infuriates me that she has no regard for me or even her studies. And yet I can't stop looking at her. The way her hair shimmers as she moves. The eyes that looked up at me with defiance when I held her against the wall. Fucking hell. Why did I do that? I've never in my life met someone that drives me as crazy as she does. I look over just as she drops a hanger and bends over to pick it up. Her skirt rides up just a bit, and my pants immediately get uncomfortable. My hands were on her smooth skin. And if we hadn't been interrupted, how far would she have gone? She was into it. I know she was. I could feel it in every ounce of my being. If we had kept going, would she have kissed me? Gone down on her knees? Let me touch her. Taste her. I bite my teeth together so hard they might crack. It's for the best that we were stopped. I open a box of little flags with our logo on them and start placing them on a shelf. It's good it didn't go any further. She's vile and evil, and it probably would have sucked. I glance over at her again. She's pulling out her phone and reading something. Even now, she can't focus on the task at hand. This is exactly why I'm glad nothing happened. She smiles at her phone and starts typing something, and the air leaves my lungs. Okay, fine. She's pretty when she smiles. But that changes nothing. I pull my attention away from her and back to the flags. Was that another guy that messaged her? Is she slacking off work to flirt with some loser? I look around for Ms. Tina, but she's still in the back. So I put the box of flags down and head over to Lydia just as she puts her phone away. You're not here to mess about on your phone. My voice startles her and she spins around. What? You're supposed to be working. I cross my arms because something about her makes me feel exposed. I am working. She squints up at me and all signs of her smile are gone. You were on your phone. For like 2 seconds. And it's not like this is an actual job. I can't stop myself. I take another step towards her so I can tower over her, forcing her to bend her head back to look at me. It's the only thing keeping us here at uni, so you're right, it's not an actual job. It's much more important. Your future is at stake here. Don't you realize that? Don't you care about your future? She rolls her eyes and shakes her head slightly, and the scent of her shampoo wafts over me like a sledgehammer. It's coconut and lavender. And her. My arms drop to my sides as she looks down at the jersey she was hanging. I know how important it is, she says, and her voice is softer. But it almost doesn't register with me because she's breathing hard, and from this angle I'm staring straight down her top. Besides, this conversation has kept me from working far more than one message from my sister. Too late, I realize she's looking at me again. If you're done staring at my boobs, maybe I could get on with it. Her voice drips with sarcasm. I wasn't looking at your boobs. You have a stain on your shirt. I blink and turn around, walking stiffly away from her. I hide behind a shelf and pick up the flags again. When I look over, she's examining her shirt, looking for the imaginary stain. She scrapes at something minuscule, and I wonder if maybe I manifested a stain just by sheer desperation. I deliberately turn my back on her. What the fuck was that? She caught me staring at her boobs. I'm not even supposed to look at her at all. But it's hardly my fault she's hot as hell. It doesn't matter though. She's a party princess with no clear path in life. She's probably here on her daddy's money with no aspirations of her own. I shake my head. I asked around. She's no saint. Far from it. All she wants is to get drunk and fuck around. She's a monster about to risk my future. I adjust myself discreetly. What I'm going to do is avoid her as much as possible. She's trouble I can't afford. I just hope all of me feels the same. Because one part of me seems way too eager to be close to her. We get through our shift with no more incidents. The work is easy, if boring. After Ms. Tina shows us how to close up, I hurry to my car. I don't stick around to see where Lydia goes. She's not my problem. I close the door and rest my head back for a moment. Before I take off, I check my phone and swear under my breath. My uncle has called several times and sent a message for me to call him as soon as possible. I steel myself and dial his number. "Tom, you called?" I say when he picks up. "Wesley. So you do still have your phone?" I got the most disturbing phone call from Coach. I guess he was the only one clear-headed enough to tell me. "Coach called you?" A sense of betrayal goes through me at the thought of Coach ratting me out. "He called to set up a dinner, but naturally the conversation turned to you. Do you know how humiliating it was to not know what was going on? Did you even think to let me know?" I clear my throat. "It's really no big deal." "Do your fathers know? Because I can't imagine they would be happy with you throwing away your future like this." "They know. I told them what happened last night. But they don't have the sense of urgency about my career that Tom has. That I have. They don't understand how important it is to me." "Well, I spoke to the dean and I am not happy." "Not at all. Breaking and entering, Wesley. How could you?" "I didn't. It wasn't that big of a deal." "Not a big deal. That little stunt could have gotten you kicked off the team. And then what? What would you do then?" "It didn't get me kicked off. All I have to do is work at the den a couple of afternoons a week. It's all taken care of." "I hope so. Because this is your future at stake. Remember that." "I will." I tune out as he goes on about how irresponsibly I behaved. From where I'm sitting, I can see the bus stop across the street. Lydia is standing there, keeping her distance from a drunk guy that's talking to himself. "Fuck," I say under my breath. "What was that?" Tom asks. "Nothing. Listen, I have to go. I promise I'm not risking my career. It's under control. I'll talk to you soon." I hang up before he can respond. Shaking my head, I start the car and buckle up. I leave the parking lot and pull in at the bus stop, right in front of Lydia. She looks up from her phone. "You want a ride?" Her eyes look over my car, then they drift to the drunk guy and finally in the direction the bus is supposed to come from. "I can take the bus." That's not an answer. "I don't live far." She hesitates, so I reach over and open the passenger door for her. "Get in." With a last look at the absence of a bus, she sighs and gets in. "Thanks." "Where do you live?" "Galvin Street." I nod. It's not too far, maybe a 20-minute walk. But this late, I don't blame her for hesitating to walk. We drive in silence. She's buckled herself in and is keeping an eye on the traffic. She looks nervous. Maybe I took it too far when I pushed her against the wall. I want to apologize for it, but I have no idea how to do that without sounding like a creep. But she doesn't seem scared of me. She stood up to me today and called me out when I was checking her out. I take my eyes off the road for a second to look at her. She looks good in my car. "It's this house." She points to one of the apartment buildings, and I pull in. "Thanks for the ride." "No problem." As she opens the door, I open my mouth. "Can I have your number?" Her hand freezes with the door half open. Slowly she turns to me and squints. "What for?" I try to shrug as nonchalantly as possible. "Just in case. We're in this together, so we might as well be able to contact each other if something comes up. Like if you're going to be late again." Her eyes bore into me, and I can almost taste my heartbeat. She still looks suspicious as she reaches for her phone. "Number?" she asks without looking at me. I give her my number, and she puts it in. My phone buzzes, and I check it. She's sent me a poop emoji. I almost smile. "Thanks again for the ride." She's out of my car before I can respond. I watch as she hurries inside. It's stupid. She normally stays out all night and gets home safely. She doesn't need me to look out for her. I pull out into traffic and drive away. I only need to see her for the next couple of months. Then it'll be like she never existed.
Chapter 10. Spiraling. Lydia. I remove my makeup and set up my laptop to watch a few episodes of a series. It's been a long day. It's also been a very long time since someone got mad at me for ruining my future. Ever since the accident, people around me have been letting me slide. They probably mean well, but they've also let me slide through the cracks. Slide away from things that once mattered to me. Ellie keeps talking about counseling and therapy. And yes, she gets mad when I do stupid things. But she's never accused me of not caring about my future. Wes did. I put on a comfy shirt and leaned back against my headboard. He meant his future. He is worried about his own future, and now it's tied to mine. It's probably frustrating that he's not in control. I close my eyes. No more thinking about Wes and his hands under my skirt. His lips on mine. What would it feel like if they traced down my neck? His eyes were dark when he stared at my boobs. He lied when he said I had a stain on my shirt. He probably wanted to remove my shirt and... I opened my eyes. No. This is not how this is supposed to go. Wesley Porter is an asshole, and he's not worthy of my time. I won't spare him another thought. He's not worth it. I put the laptop aside and get up. I need juice. Hopefully, Ellie has been shopping. I'm not sure if she's home tonight. She's been spending a lot of time with her boyfriend. Which I love for her. But it gets lonely at times. I open the fridge. It's stocked to the brim. I find some juice and pour myself a glass. As I do, my phone buzzes. It's Trisha asking me to join them at a party. I check the time. It's not even 10. Normally, I'd be out the door as soon as I'm dressed and have makeup on. But tonight, I don't feel like it. I text back to decline the invite. The response from Trisha is disbelief, and I have to convince her I don't want to go out tonight. I settle back with the laptop, but my mind keeps wandering. The papers with the extra credit I got from Professor Turner sit on my desk. I should probably have a look at them. Maybe that's a future worth having. Maybe I need to change. My hand goes to my hip. To the scar that I carry with me. I could have a future. It's what they would have wanted. I rub the scar and take a deep breath. I almost forgot that my future died that day. Everything I wanted, everything they wanted. It was all gone so soon. And now I don't know what to do. I'm suffocating. I had it all planned out. I had a future. And I saw it clearly. They were there when I graduated. I imagined them getting up in the middle of the night to watch me present the news. They would brag to their friends about me and show them my name in the credits if I worked off camera somewhere. I had it all in my head. I even thought that once I was famous and got a talk show, I could invite them to be in the audience. And they would be so proud of me. I slammed the laptop shut. I can't do this. It's too much. 3 steps have me at my wardrobe. I'll text Trisha. Then I'll get a car and go meet them. And I'll get lost in the music. And then I don't have to think about it. I grab a black dress and pull it out when my phone buzzes. I toss the dress on the bed and check to see if Trisha and Prez came to get me after all. I furrow my brow at the message. It's from Wes. He's sending me a picture of a scrunchie. Did you leave this in my car? I look at the picture. I blink. Then I type a message. Is this why you wanted my number? So you could text me with bullshit reasons at all hours of the day. I sit down on the bed, waiting for him to reply. It's not like you were asleep. I just dropped you off. And you think a scrunchie is so important, it couldn't wait until the next time you see me? I pull up my legs and hug myself as I wait. My eyes drift to the extra credit. I don't know how important these things are. It's not mine. The answer comes quickly. Oh. I reach for the extra credit. Maybe I could have a look at it. I don't put my phone away. But I read through the assignments, thinking how I might even be able to get it done. I glance at the phone. Wes is typing. I hold my breath. The dots disappear. Then they reemerge. And disappear again. I take a deep breath and read the first assignment again. Then I reach for my laptop.